Hello, so I'm going to do the Neurographica art that I've been talking about during my lives, and at different points I've discussed this with people in the Patreon, and everybody that I've mentioned it to has been excited about seeing it in action because it's not something you have to be an artist for, and it's something that can help to transform your subconscious mind, which we all know by now, you should know if you've been around me, is responsible for 90% of what goes on in your life. So this is a practice that can help you to take a certain theme or a certain problem, an issue, and transform it, okay? So I have a whole little process here. I've been researching it. There is a lot of conflict out there, I find. Like, there's a lot of people out there who are talking about it, teaching their different methods, and there's also two different aspects to this. There's some people who call it Neurographica art, and there's other people who have like a neuro art. And so those two things are different. One of them is a technical thing that you get certified in. It is like from a dude who is backed within psychology, neuroscience, and all of that. And it has a whole set thing that you're supposed to do with it. The other thing is more intuitive, and it's just as beneficial, I feel, either way. The reason why I feel like this is kind of crazy synchronistic is because this is something I used to do back like a decade ago, unknowingly, and I feel like you don't have to follow exact rules. And I found some teachers who are certified in it, they've gone through all the classes, who even say this too. It's like, it's not about the rules. There's some teachers out there that you'll find on YouTube that are like, no, you're doing it wrong. And there's other people out there who are like, oh, it's 6 steps. And there's some people like 7 steps. So I'm going with the lady who I felt like made the most sense and had the most wisdom and shared the most about it, and also is certified to do so. And she also is very shamanic-y. She has like other stuff, so she resonates with me, and I feel like that's what other people should do too. Find somebody that resonates with you and makes sense for you. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to do the exact things someone else did. There is a purpose for the things that we're going to be doing, but what we're going to be doing is like the first algorithm. And that's another thing. Some of these people who are teaching it, I feel like they learned when there was one algorithm, and now there's several others, because the man who created this created several other algorithms. He has other books and stuff since the initiation of this. So I feel like some people are like stuck back at the beginning and they're like, no, you can't do that, that's wrong. But there's other people who've like taken more of his work and learned more about it and are like, no, this is part of the process now. There's other options that can be done. So this first algorithm is basically like, can be anything as simple as like, I'm pissed off that I have to do something I don't want to do, or there's some sort of theme in your life that's been bothering you. Maybe you keep coming back to the same type of thing over and over and you want to break out of that, or you're struggling healthy wise, mind wise, body wise. And we're going to go through the whole process. But yeah, like even after I started seeing this and being like, oh my God, I've done that before. I know that it changed my life when I did it before, and I was doing it without realizing it. All my memories from like 10 years ago started popping up with the different artwork that I was doing that was very similar to this. And even tonight, when I was making candles and sprays for my Etsy orders, I found this book that I bought years ago around the same time that I was doing stuff like this unknowingly. And it was right before all those big changes happened and like awakening, and it was after the buzz went through my head, but it was like through the process of awakening. But Zentangle is kind of similar. It's not the same thing, but it's like a similar thing where it's like, you don't need to be an artist to do Zentangle. And it's basically like a form of meditation, but we're gonna show you the whole process. So if you're interested in reprogramming your mind, you're not an artist, this may help you. Okay, so basically, Neurographica is a meditative transformational drawing practice. You can use colored pencils in the beginning. That may be good for some of you. A little bit easier than something like markers or paint. Some people use more marker type of thing, like a thicker marker. But whatever you feel comfortable with, like Sharpies. Some people do different, like watercolor. It's totally up to you. But it was a Russian psychologist that came up with this, and he is a psychology professor and artist, and it connects to the theory of mind, okay? So we're going to start with ourselves, and something that we want to change. There could be a problem or a theme within our mind, within our thinking, some sort of challenge, or even a question, something you want to change, or maybe there's an answer you're seeking, or some sort of support that you're trying to gain in your life. Okay, so that's the first step, is we want to have some sort of intention that we're looking to connect with. And so we start with ourselves. And again, it's a very intentional thing, which is going to help the subconscious. We're also going to be connecting with our emotional state, our body, how our body feels, how our emotion feels, and our mind, like how our mind is thinking and all of that, into our drawing. So we're going to be observing ourselves throughout the process. And you are observing yourself is basically the main ingredient of this, because you're going to keep coming back and paying attention to how you're feeling, what's going on in your mind, stuff like that, as you are going through this process. So there's the emotional body, the body, and the mind. We're going to be using a visual language, okay? So I'm going to open this up and show you like my first one here that is when I was practicing. Okay, so this is what I came up with when I was practicing. Again, it depends, like if you do a smaller paper, it's going to take you less time. If you do a bigger paper, it's going to take you more time. But as we go through this, there's going to be different elements that we're bringing into it. Like there's going to be colors, there's going to be shapes, there's going to be lines. Okay, the neurographical line is a very important part. The shapes all represent stuff, and the colors are going to represent stuff. So it's an abstract practice. Everything that you're going to put into this is going to have meaning for you, by you. And by the end of this, you should come to a new perspective, a new idea, some sort of insight, a better understanding, an answer or solution to a question, and basically a way to change your life. Okay? So you're going to be also activating your intuition, becoming more wise, activating and listening to the inner voice, and putting meaning into your art. So again, you don't need to be an artist. You don't need to do a beautiful thing. You don't have to know what you're doing even really. It's just a practice that you're going to get better at over time. And as you are doing certain aspects throughout this, you pay attention, or just go with the flow. But over time, you'll get better at it. So like today, you might start with like, I want to create more abundance in my life, or I want to know what my purpose is, or I want to stop fighting with this person, or I want better communication in a relationship, whatever it is, right? We're starting over here and we're going over here. And as we do that, we're going to be coming up with solutions. You may not know the solution immediately today, but you will know the feeling, you will know the journey, you will know the colors, you will know the reasoning as to what you're doing, why you're doing it, where you're doing it, and what's coming up within you on that process. So some people may have an answer today. Some people may get some clarity today. Other people may come back in a few days or in the next drawing and start to get better as they go. We're going to have basically, I'm trying to think of how to put this. I think it'd probably be easier for me to do it this way. I'm going to be, like, for you, you would want to have your paper like that. And it doesn't have to be a big paper. But it's like we're going to start over here and we're going to go over here. Okay? I'm going to do it this way just because of how I'm standing. But hopefully that will make sense for the people who's watching. And we're going to also just start with a little meditation. So this is about allowing yourself to relax. Put your feet on the floor. Come back to your awareness of self. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And allow yourself to release any resistance to what you're doing, what you're creating, or even what it is that you want to work on. Just take a nice deep breath and get grounded in this moment. And come into your body and relax. Relax all tension and all stress from your head, from your jaw, around your eyes and ears and nose. Breathe down through your neck, into your heart, releasing any stress within your shoulders, allowing that energy of this present moment that relaxing flow to move through your arms, down through your wrist and your hands, breathing through your lungs and your belly, allowing every muscle of your back to release and relax, all the way down through your hips, your thighs, all of your joints, all of your bones, your cells and your atoms, down through your calf muscles and over your shins, allowing every part to just release and relax, becoming aware of any sensations inside of yourself, any sensations inside of your body, and become aware of any part of your body that is more open and available to you, that you are feeling more energy within, or any part that feels like it's cut off. Is there any part in your body that you feel you don't have access to? And there's no right or wrong, there's no good or bad, just an awareness of what is going on, and allow for your heart to open and feel the feelings that you have at this moment. Are you curious? Are you excited? Are you nervous or frustrated? Just allow yourself to pay attention without judgment to what's going on within yourself. Go into your mind, paying attention to your thoughts. Again, we're not judging, we're just seeing. Are your thoughts moving fast? Are you asking a lot of questions? Are you getting too far ahead? Are you stuck back before? Just allow any thoughts that are in your mind to move on and smile. And think about the theme that you are wanting to work on today. Perhaps you're wanting to fix something. Perhaps something needs to be cleaned. Perhaps you've been having issues with technology or a person who's been frustrating you. Perhaps you have your own inner issue. Whatever it is, allow it to come to your mind. And how does your body feel when you think about this theme of your day, of your art? What emotions arise surrounding the theme? And what thoughts do you have about this? There's no right or wrong, no judgment, just noticing how your body, mind, and emotions are processing. And now rubbing your hands together, getting the energy flowing within them. You can raise your hands over your closed eyes and allow and notice the energy connecting between your hands and your eyes. Allow that energy to move between your eyes and your hands, and ask your I Am Presence to guide you in this process today, to guide your hands and your eyes in working together. And when you feel ready, you can put your hands back down and come back to the present moment. So, some people use a marker for this point. I'm just going to use whichever color feels correct. I don't know what color this is, but I'm going to use it. And the first thing we're going to do is create a Neurographica line. It is a natural movement. There can be 3 to 4 of them within our process here. Again, it's going to start on the left and go to the right. And the first one, we just start wherever we feel guided to go. There's no rhyme or reason. You don't have to overthink it. Just intuitively, where do you feel like your line wants to begin? And you're going to go slow. You're not going to rush it. It doesn't have to have a certain flow to it. It doesn't have to have a certain look to it. Just allow whatever would like to flow. And again, there can be a few of them, but we're just going to start. And pay attention while you're creating your line to how it feels. We don't know where it's going yet. We just are allowing it to go wherever it wants to go. And maybe your line stays in one area longer. It rises up or down, but it will make its way to the other side. And when we get there, we can make another line. And again, we're just going to feel, where does it want to begin? Flowing like a river. We don't know where it's going yet. We're just feeling the motion. Allowing for our line to make its way across the page without judgment, all the way over. And then we can do another line. And again, there's no rhyme or reason, doesn't have to be up or down, just wherever you feel guided to begin. And it can cross the other lines. There's nothing wrong with that. Maybe it will cross many times. Maybe it'll only cross once. We're not going to judge it. Just going to allow for that line to naturally flow to where it wants to go. And if you would like, you can create another line, or you can leave it as it is. It's up to you. This is your art. This is your page. Again, there's no right, there's no wrong. There we go. Okay. So now we have our neurographical lines. The next part we're going to do is make a connection, and it's called rounding. So everywhere that you see a cross, we're going to want to round it out. All right. So I'm going to zoom you in a little bit. Okay. So see how this is like an X? Basically, we want to make our X's into U's. And this is called rounding. And this is helping us to reassemble the neuron connections in our brain. And we're not going to just round out here, we're going to round down the line too. And so this may take you a little bit of time. And it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to do, like, there's no wrong. There's no, like, I messed it up. There's none of that, okay? And you get better over time too. You may even get better at making your designs or feeling more confident in your designs. But this is not about perfection. This is about allowing. It's about softening. It's about feeling and allowing the effects of the smoothing to happen, because it's going to be reprogramming your mind and the issue that you have in mind. And you know, we're just on the next step of the journey here. Let's go here, and I'm going to start right here, and I'm rounding this out, rounding it out, and right here we're going to round it out all the way down the line so that it's nice and round. It's not just about this little spot, it's about, you know, making it nice. rounding it out. There's another cross here, so we're going to round it out. And you're going to do this where all of your little places cross, as long as it takes you. Okay. And so we're rounding out all those little places in our mind, all those little places of the crossing of the lines. Again, there's no right or wrong. We're just going with the flow. And we're gonna round out. Sometimes you might even end up making little circles. And as you're doing this, as you're rounding out these lines, pay attention to how you feel. Like, how do certain spots make you feel? Do you enjoy the process of rounding these out? Making all these little marks. Nice and round. Moving all the way down the lines. Nice and easy. Moving all the way down. You're just rounding out all the little places. Rounding out your little Neurographica line. And again, there's no mistakes. It just is what it is. Rounding out all of our lines. We're also going to end up coloring things in later, so if you're unhappy with certain parts, know that that's okay. You might be able to blend it in later on. Go down here. Boop 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 boop. Rounding out the lines. Rounding out all the little lines. Paying attention to what's coming up inside of yourself. Do you feel that meditative energy? You're relaxing. Paying attention to where the little spots are meeting. How are you feeling as you round out your little lines? Letting things go as they naturally would like to go again. There's no rhyme or reason for where you are at on your little journey. You just go and round them all out. And then when you feel like you got them all rounded out, we can move on to the next part. Okay. If you feel like some of them need a little bit more rounding, you can take a couple more moments to do that. If you feel like you need to continue down a little line a little bit more, you can do that. It's up to you. But I have rounded out all my little lines here. Okay. Again, it does not have to be perfect. Pay attention to maybe spots that you like or dislike. How it feels when you're crossing and smoothing. This is all one big network, one big pattern that we're using to help us. And now we're going to bring in that theme. Wherever there it feels like there's space on your picture, we're going to use a circle to represent the theme that we are working on, okay? So whatever your theme is, whether it was like, I'm sick of this problem, or I want to stop doing this thing, or I'm sick of fighting with this person, or I'd like to have a better, situation here. We're going to use a circle to help us to bring that theme in to the place that there feels like there's a space for it. Okay, so there's, again, no right or wrong answer. I have this. You don't need one of these. You don't have to make a perfect circle. I just have this, so it's like I might as well use it. There's no right or wrong size. There's no right or wrong placement. It's just wherever you feel guided to put the little thing that you are dealing with at this time, the theme. Where do you want to put that theme? So it could be here, it could be up here, okay? It could connect. I'm going to probably, I haven't decided. This is where I intuitively wanted to go, so I'm going to go here with this circle. Again, it could be bigger or smaller. There is no right or wrong answer. And I'm just going to put my circle there. And you can draw your circle freehand, or if you have something that is a circle, you can use that. Whatever you would like to use for your circle. Don't worry about it being perfect. But this is where my space was that felt correct to put that theme, okay? Something that I want to work on. And now I'm going to round out wherever it connects, okay? So see how it connects here, and it connects here. I'm going to do the rounding out just like we've done on the other parts of the drawing. So wherever yours is connecting, it may connect to a lot of places, it may not. Again, there's no right or wrong way for you to do this, but you're going to want to round it out, okay? Wherever it needs the rounding, allow it to get rounded. If it doesn't have any way to round, don't worry about it. I'm just going to do these little spots here. Rounding it out. There we go. Pull it down a little bit. Put it down a little bit. Put it down a little bit. Okay. Again, you may have a lot of places to do that, or you may not. So if you need a few more minutes to do that, take a few more minutes to do that. But now that we've done that, we've made space for our theme. We're aware of what we want to change. This is where we're going to have the catharsis process. This is where we're going to be like, rah! All right, this is where we're going to be like, shushikadis, like we're ready to transform. So what we're going to do is you're going to feel it in your hand, and I'm going to show you on here first. You might, like if you were using a marker, you might want to use a different marker just so you don't mess it up. But basically, you're going to do it, okay? And it's just like, okay? It may be however it wants to come through, but you're going to put that into the circle, okay? So this is like just feeling whatever this is, like what you're frustrated with, like I'm so sick of this thing, or I just want this to work out, and you're just going to let it flow, however it wants to flow, okay? So there we go. That's mine. However yours looks is totally fine. There's no right, there's no wrong, okay? And now that that's in there, again, we are going to do the rounding on all the corners, okay? So again, we might see, for some of you, it may be very sharp ones, there may be a lot of them, but like right here, there's going to be one, right here. I'm going to integrate that in. I'm going to smooth this out, smooth this out, smooth this out. And depending on your thing, where you put your lines, how many there are, it will depend on your smoothing out process, okay? So don't stress about it. Don't make a big deal about it. Just know that we all have our own unique problems, our own unique ideas, our own cathartic process to go through, and there's no right or wrong for us as we do this. And we're just going to round out wherever we need to. And you may be surprised sometimes, you may feel like there is no way for me to round out, but as you get closer and as you go through it, you may see, oh yeah, there is a place for me to round out. I didn't even realize that that was there, you know? So take your time and round it out wherever it feels like it needs to be rounded out. And even if you miss a spot, that's okay. You can go back later. Again, there's no messing up. There's no way to make it bad. It's just however it needs to be done for you. This is your representation of your issue, your theme, your mind, and how you're going to be finding your solutions and your answers, and maybe possibly some sort of support system. Maybe there's somebody out there that can help support you in what you're trying to accomplish, or maybe there's already people who are trying to support you in it but you have not realized, or maybe there's a better support system within yourself that you have not figured out yet. But we're opening up to allow for us to see how can we fully be supported, how can we heal, how can we find the solutions to the theme that has been causing us some issues. Okay? So when you've rounded out all those corners, allow for this issue to just exist. Okay? We know it's here. It's existing. We're making space for it. We're going to connect all of these to the other parts of the drawing. Okay? So like all of these lines, we're going to integrate it in. So like in this one, I can't remember which one was my first. I think my first circle was over here. Pretty sure my first circle was over here, and then the second circle was over here, because there's going to be another circle. But as you can see, you can no longer see it. It got integrated. It got like swooped in there. Okay? So we're going to be doing something similar to this, where we're going to take whatever has been, see how there were circles here too, they got integrated. So we're going to be integrating our circle, and again, our picture goes from left to right. There's our issue, our problem. We can see the lines there. We're going to take this and connect it to the other parts of our image. And as we do that, there may be things to round out, okay? There's going to be some rounding within our image, okay? And then as we go up here, we can round this out. Doop-a-doop. And then here, maybe we're going to connect it like that. And again, there's no right or wrong. There's no right or wrong. However you would like to connect your parts to your problem, to your theme, to the rest of your image. We're connecting it, rounding it, and we're going to smooth it. Okay. We can smooth this out. Smooth this out. Okay. And then we're going to connect it to the edge, but we're paying attention to how this feels as we integrate it, okay? And as many connections as feel good, we break it up, we change the shape, and we're changing the meaning of what it means to be with this challenge, okay? So you can make a lot of connections, you can make a little bit of connections, whatever feels right for you, but you're changing what it feels like and what it means to be within this theme, with this connection, how it looks in your life, where it connects in your life, how much space it's taking up. Is there any like patterns that you're seeing in there, something that reminds you of something? Maybe you're getting like little symbolisms. Maybe you see like a mask or a bird or something, whatever. But as we finish that part, we're going to take this out to the rest of the drawing, okay? Continue to the edge of the paper. So, like here, we can connect it. Okay. Connect this. And here, might bring it down, the rounding. Here, rounding it out. Whatever feels correct to be done. And maybe you'll feel like you need to add more circles or more rounding. Again, there's no incorrect way to do what we are doing. And we can even continue moving perhaps all the way up. You can feel like this needs to be connected. This needs to be connected. Okay, we can move all the way down these lines, all the way out. Maybe this one needs to come all the way down. rounding it out. Rounding it out. Again, there's no right, no wrong. Wherever it feels like it needs to go. Perhaps this needs a little rounding. Perhaps this needs a little rounding. Okay. And we have that connected up there. We have this connected down there. Can round this out a little bit more. Perhaps this feels like it needs something. Rounding out here. Again, this is yours. There's no right, there's no wrong. You can have as much or as little as you like. You just feel the process, how it feels appropriate and what does not. Okay? If you feel like you need to add more, you can add more. Basically, the more that you're adding, the more movement you're creating, the more opportunities you're making for your mind to find new pathways, new answers, new solutions to whatever's been going on within that theme that's been bothering you. Okay? So once we have that, and we are connected out there, we've merged with the lines, and we've experienced a releasing and movement out. We're thinking about what can help with that issue. Perhaps what people, what if this was available to us? What if this was available to be supported? What if I already was supported? Those are the types of thoughts that we're thinking as we're moving this out. And again, you might want to double check and see, is there anywhere that I missed the rounding little spots? You could have a couple of places that you missed or don't feel as round as they should be or could be. There is, again, no messing up. It's just however you are guided to go on your journey. Okay? But as you go through your journey, you may find some more spots, or you may not. You may be guided to add some new spots. Okay? And as you're looking at your image, you can try and interpret some of it. Maybe it feels too big. Maybe it feels scary or ugly. And how does that fit into the theme? Maybe you feel like whatever's been bothering you is too big for you to handle, or it feels scary. Whatever you are picking up should have some sort of meaning. It may not, and that's okay too. But all the different lines are going to be different. All the problems, whether they're internal or external, are welcome to be a part of this process. You could be working on health. You could be working on mindset. You'd be working on physical manifestations of things. Whatever it is, as you go, it is fine. So now we're going to work with more color. And there's really no right or wrong again with this. It's just whichever color you feel guided to use. So you're going to choose the color, and you're going to start coloring in whatever area jumps out to you to be colored. There's no right place or wrong place. And you're going to move across the boundaries. You're not going to be staying within the lines, and you're not going to just do like one little spot. You're going to take up space. You're going to move the energy. You're going to create larger spaces, and you're going to make space within your mind to connect to your inner child and have fun and play. So wherever your first color wants to be, just allow it to happen. And again, there's no right or wrong. Just start doing it. And you're going to go across the boundaries. But you may be deciding which boundary you want to go across. It could be right here. It could be above. It could be below. Again, you get to decide. You get to determine how much of this color and where this color is going. And it should be fun for you. It should not be something you're thinking about too much. You're just going to allow where it would like to be, to be. If you want to continue on, you continue on. And how does this color feel? Notice where you're putting the color right within that theme. Maybe this color is helping to lighten the energy of that issue or that question. Whatever it is that's been bugging us. Maybe this color is bringing more love to that issue and that theme. Maybe this color represents what you feel. Maybe you're using a darker blue and you feel depressed. It could be representing that within there. And you can go out of that circle, go across the boundaries and give it more space. Allow it come out into the mind, to find its way, to find solutions, to find the answers that you are looking for. Continue to expand, continue to grow, continue to evolve. Again, knowing that there is no right, there is no wrong, however you would like. You can use a darker color, like you can make this pink really dark pink, you can make it lighter pink, you can let it fade out, you can bring it into only part of a pathway here. However you feel guided. Okay, and when you feel guided to go to a different color, whenever you're ready, wherever you're ready, you'll go. And again, you don't have to fill in everything. There can be white spots. Wherever you feel like there needs to be color, bring the color. Wherever there feels like there needs to be no color, there's no color. Wherever you feel like you need to change it up, change it up. If you feel like it needs to be darker, it needs to be darker. If you feel like it needs to be lighter, it needs to be lighter. Doop, 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 doop. And you just move with the flow, however it feels right for you. Doop-a-doop. Keep going with your colors. Again, checking in. How does this color feel? How do you feel? What kind of thoughts are rising? What emotions do you have happening? Are you happy with your movements? Are you having new perspectives coming in surrounding the theme of your life? Or the theme of your drawing? Do you feel safe or inspired? Ready to change? Ready to heal? Ready to receive the insights that might help you across this path? And you can do more colors or less colors, whatever you feel like you would like to do, wherever you feel like you would like them to be. Again, there's no right or wrong. It's just what is. And this is some of the places that I found contradicting energies or information, where some people are like, oh, it has to be done exactly like this, or the lines have to be exactly like that, or you can't do this, or you have to do it like that, and it's just craziness. So don't bother with that. The person that I found seems to be very informed with what they're doing. They seem to have studied a lot, read the books, studied with the guy, are certified to teach this. They have all of the algorithms that they teach. This is just the first algorithm. But I think because there are Neurographica and then neuro art, and then obviously people interpret things their own way, it just makes space for people to get angry or think that they are the only one that knows how, or that everybody else is making a mistake. And again, even in art, there is no mistake. And I feel like if you're setting an intention, you're taking the time, you are doing something that's good, that a lot of people probably aren't doing. And even if you don't get clear answers today, or feel like you know exactly what you're doing in this moment, you're opening up that pathway so that that can start happening in the future. And that's a good thing. Your subconscious knows what you're up to. You know what you're up to. You're checking in with your emotions and your body. You're being open to finding answers. You're being open to reprogramming. Being open to healing and changing and shifting. That's more than most people are open to. go with the colors that feel right to you. You can do brights and darks. I'm just going with whatever feels right in the moment for me. I'm not really analyzing it or comparing with whatever else has been present here. Just doing what I feel like I want to do. And I suggest that you do that too. If you want to do browns and yellows, greens and oranges, purples, blues, you want to do all of them together. You want to do contrasting colors or colors that go well together, complement each other. It's okay. If you want to make some colors darker, some colors lighter, you can. If you want to use watercolors, or if you don't want to use any colors, you can, also do that. But the person that was teaching this was using colors, and they were specifically using, they used a black marker, but then they used the colored pencils for the other part. We're just gonna let this go off the edge. It's okay to overlap your other colors if that happens. Again, there's no like staying in the lines. That's important. We're throwing out everything we learned as kids. We're throwing out all the rule books. We're throwing out all the right and wrongs. We're doing whatever feels like it needs to be done. Wherever it feels like it needs to be done. However it feels like it needs to be done. I'm going to do a couple little bit more over here. Purple, 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 purple. P-U-R-P-L-E. When I was little, that's my mom drilled into my head. P-U-R-P-L-E. 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 Don't know why. I think I had a hard time with spelling purple. So, maybe we're crossing that bridge now. And we're realizing that we do know how to do it. And it's jammed up in there, but maybe we can make space for new wisdom, new information, new words, for new ideas, for new support systems. I can make the space because I don't need the P-U-R-P-L-E anymore. It's already integrated. It's part of my program. We can let go of that space and integrate in new informations, new wisdom, new insights, whatever would like to come in and help me at this time to overcome the P-U-R, the P-L-E. Alright, so those are my colors for now. I feel like that is enough. You can keep going, you can do less, you can do more, you can do whatever you like. But yes, you feel the colors, you feel maybe what feels strong or what doesn't feel strong. You just allow yourself to move. You go through the next colors intuitively, wherever it wants to go, however it wants to be. Only you are going to understand your image, Only yours is going to make sense to you. You'll get better at this the more that you do it. This is kind of like our practice run. Pay attention, maybe as you've colored, maybe you see different shapes or different symbols in there. Maybe not, it's okay. And now, we're going to add lines again in a different direction, okay? Or the direction that feels appropriate for our drawing. So, the drawing that you have, which has gone left to right, it may feel like there's a movement through your drawing. It may feel like it goes in this direction, it may feel like it goes in that direction. However it feels, there's going to be a new line that we add, but we're going to allow the line to connect the other end. And we're going to feel the flow of the lines. We're going to make deeper, thicker line. And I'll see if I can show you. I kind of changed this one because I didn't use black originally. And I also didn't have like a full page. But as you can see, like some of the stuff is a little bit thicker. Like the purples are a little thicker. Then I came back in with black, so some of it got mixed up. But yeah, we'll show you over here. You might have your direction in a certain way. How does yours move? Is yours going here? Is it going there? Either way, we're going to add lines, or a line, in a certain direction. So mine feels like it's moving in this direction. And we're going to allow the new line to connect with the present line. And I feel like here may be a good place to bring a new line. And your line may connect to something here, or it may not. It may connect to the circle and you might bring the circle line into your line, or you may go in another direction and go up there. However it feels appropriate. For me, my line starts down here and is connecting to my circle here, and it's also gonna go up here. So I'm gonna make this thicker so that we know where it is, and up here, because it's connecting out to this line. That's how it feels appropriate for me. Yours might be taking a whole new route. Okay? Yours may go however it feels right. But it's probably going to connect, it should connect somewhere with other stuff. Okay? It may be on a big degree, it may not be. But like I said, no right, no wrong. Just allow whatever feels right to happen with the motion of your drawing. So again, this is going to be thicker. That was the line that I felt was going like that. Feeling the flow for the deeper, thicker, and then rounding wherever it needs to be rounded. It may need a lot of rounding, it may not, depends on the placement of it. You can add up to 3 of these lines. I think I'm going to take this line and thicken this one up, because it goes into this. But again, yours might go somewhere else. Okay? And wherever it leads, it's totally okay. And then over here, I'm making this thicker, rounding it out, and I'm gonna weave up here, rounding it out wherever it feels like it needs to be rounded. Okay, making my thicker line like that. Okay, if you want to add more lines, you can, wherever you feel drawn. We're going to add our last step. We're going to place some emphasis wherever we feel drawn. It can be to the circle that we already have, or it can be a new circle wherever you're guided to put a new circle. And the new circle can connect to the old circle, or it can be in its own original place, however you want. So if you want to make this your circle, you want to make this thicker, you can do that. If you want to add a new one somewhere else, you can do that. It can be smaller, it can be bigger, it can overlap with this one, wherever you feel guided. But you're going to make this one thick, okay? And I've been feeling like I was going to put one over here. So I feel like I would like to do it here. Not sure exactly why, I'm just going with my intuition, and this is where I would like to place some emphasis. Okay, my new circle. We're going to go around it to make it thicker, and we're going to connect it and round all the lines. So right here, connecting it, right here, connecting it, right here, right here, connecting it, right here, connecting it, connecting it. Again, does not have to be perfect. Just making it thick, placing an emphasis on it. Okay. And then we're going to be aware of how it looks. We're going to connect it to all the other lines. We can bring this over here. And we can round that out. We can round that out. Okay. We can put this up here. Round this out. Perhaps you can add a little here, make a little circle. Rounding it out. Rounding this out. Emphasis around here. Okay. All right, so again, we may feel guided to go in and add more color. We may feel guided to go in and thicken something up or round something off. Whatever you feel guided to do is totally up to you. But we want to be aware of how this looks. We want to be aware of where the colors are located. Do we feel like maybe we've gained any answers, or maybe we haven't yet? It could take us a few days, but we know that we've opened the door to our subconscious, and we want to pay attention to how this feels. We want to pay attention to our emotions. Do we feel more calm? Are we hopeful? How is our body sensations feeling? What are our thoughts like compared to when we started? And we know that we started over here and we ended over here, and we went on a journey. And some people may want to journal afterwards, like journal about what your intention was, about the flow of the colors that you used, about the movement of your drawing, about the process or any messages that came up. And now that you have reached the other side, do you have any different feelings or any insights? Have you come up with any ideas or solutions? Maybe a stronger intuition, realizing that you were just intuitively led to the whole process. And you're giving your subconscious a way to evolve and transform. And you're allowing for the decisions and ideas and solutions to make their way into your life through this process. And each time that you do this, it'll get easier for you. It'll get, more in depth for you. You'll know what you're doing. But there are other algorithms too. So I took notes on quite a few of them. I watched some of them. There's a mandala one. There's one that we work with 5 colors and 5 elements. There's one that we work with that helps us with releasing our limitations. There's some that work with communication, receiving contact in relationships. There's some that help us with our new goals. There's some with timelines. It can help us with our ancestral healing, or it can help us to create the timeline to what we're trying to manifest. We could do linear timelines, personal timelines, cyclical timelines, all different types of timelines, shifting our timelines, creating new events. And yeah, there's 9 different ones. There's a whole bunch of them. But this is the very basic first one. And again, this basic first one can be used with all of that. Like, I want a new timeline. I want to heal my ancestral stuff. I want to shift and connect with elements. There's also some where it's like you do Neurographica as a way of like sketching. There's a whole bunch, and some of them are cool. Like there's one about making goals, and it has certain things that you use. Like there's suns instead of like the rounding. We're making suns and fireworks. There's some that work with certain patterns. The neuro timeline. I don't even have all of them written down here, but I do have some of them written down here. There's the algorithm of the inner world. This first one is the algorithm of releasing limitations and finding clarity. Then there's one for changing composition, to harmonize themes and relationships. There's one for the mandala, which is about layers, levels, patterns, and bringing harmony. And there are videos out there that talk about them and show you, the process. But this is the first one. This is an easy one, and it will help you if you allow it to. Again, we don't want to judge it. We just want to allow it. And maybe you feel like you're done with it. Maybe you don't. Maybe you still want to continue to move through your thing. Maybe you still want to add more lines, or maybe you still want to add more color. Whatever you feel guided to do, it's totally up to you. There's no right, there's no wrong, there's no good, there's no bad, there's no something has to be done or not done. Allow whatever feels right. And the more that you allow, the more the answers, solutions, and support that you are seeking can make its way to you. Right? And when you feel like you're done, you're done. And then you can do it again and again and again. And you'll get better at it each time you do it. It'll get easier. You'll start remembering all of the steps. And again, this is only like I did the practice one. I did a couple like little like practicey ones, and then I did this one with you guys. So, but I have pictures of ones that I've done in the past that were, you know, just my own thing, my own making. I didn't know what I was doing when I did it. But I will add some of those pictures so you can see what I mean. And you can also try other methods. You don't have to do this. Like, you can set an intention and do Zentangle. Or you can set an intention and do something similar to what we've done today. But it doesn't have to be step by step what we've done here. And we know that because even the man who's created this has given us other options, other algorithms, other ways of working with the Neurographica art. So if he has presented other ways for you to work with it, and there's 9 different algorithms, I'm going to say that putting your pen to paper, just like they say, putting pen to paper to write, when you measure the movement in the brain, gives people like a 500 times more powerful potency than if you just do it in your phone. When you do the neuroscience graphs and all of that and the measurements, it's the same type of concept. You doing this with your intention is the most important aspect of it. Don't overthink it. Don't analyze too much. Don't sabotage yourself. Don't block yourself. Just do what feels right for you. And if you want to work with a marker, work with a marker. I feel like, I know I used to do really dark. You know, I would do all black and white. I feel like that works just as well. I know it works just as well because when I was doing it, it freaking changed my life. So, don't feel like you have to do the colors if you don't want to do the colors. Don't feel like you have to do all black and white if you don't want to do all black and white. Don't feel like you need to do 2 circles. Don't feel like you need to do anything that you don't want to do. Just do what you feel guided to do. And if you're happy with what you do, that's all that matters. If you want to add more, add more. If you want to take away, take away. Whatever you feel like is the right thing for you. It's the right thing for you. Let's see. I don't know how well this will work. Yeah, see, I like the dark dark. Maybe you like the dark dark. You can get Sharpies, get dark pens, or you feel guided to do. It's totally up to you. I wish I had more Sharpies. I used to have a lot of Sharpies, but I used them all. Sharpies are the nicest, in my opinion, for drawing. I get like different sizes too. I don't know what happened to all of mine. Maybe I do have some somewhere. I usually have a lot of shit, but I like forget that I have some somewhere stashed. But when I do draw, I usually use a lot of the black, so it goes quickly. Even when I did the pencil, I would use really dark. But yeah, that is our Neurographica art. So hopefully you like it. And if not, I'm sorry to waste your time. There's plenty of other things that you can do, but I do feel like this can help. And I've seen people do different things where they even write on here, like what different things represent. Like what their issue is, they like write it somewhere. There's all, but again, there's different people teaching different methods, and there's different people teaching different algorithms. This is the first algorithm, according to one of the certified teachers that are out there. If you are a certified teacher and you're coming to yell at me and tell me I did it all wrong, please save your breath because you're all contradicting each other. Go watch the other people and then decide, is it just me or is it possibly all of you? And don't try to give me a hard time because I know this type of stuff works because it worked for me before. And I believe it will work again. But this is similar. See, Zentangle, black and white. It's basically, see, there's a pencil and then the permanent marker. And then you get like these little patterns that you keep repeating. And then you can take your patterns and make a big pattern. Like, oh, I'm going to do this pattern, that pattern, and this pattern into a bigger pattern. Or I'm going to do like a mandala pattern. See all these options? You can make cards, you can do all types of stuff. But again, this is from like 10 freaking years ago. That's one pattern, that's one pattern, that's one pattern, that's one pattern, that's one pattern. Whatever type of pattern you want to use. You can add swirls, you can do whatever. It's pretty cool, but it's similar to what I was doing in the past. I used to make spirals all the time when I was a kid. I used to make flowers all the time, mandalas all the time. My mom used to be like, saying to me, like, you've been doing this, you've been doing that. And I never really put it together until just recently. Like, oh yeah, I have been doing that my whole fucking life. Maybe it wasn't beautiful, but it was doing something. So yeah, thank you.